Hi, everyone. Let's talk about January 17th, 2025 SmackDown, which was a decent show, in my opinion. Let's talk about it, guys. So, the show opens with commentary walking backstage, walking up the history of the arena, a sense of such of talent arriving at the arena followed, and Rey Mysterio makes his entrance, and we get on the mic. He gets on the mic. Also, again, gets on the mic, and since he says he comes out here to announce that he has since to do the unbreakable again, and he clears for the Royal Rumble, and he talked about winning the Royal Rumble from number two back in 2006. I was in second grade. I was in second grade when that happened. Then main eventing WrestleMania and winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and he couldn't lie, and he's been releasing the competition is hard this year, and Drew McIntyre and CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and John Cena, it's got to be enough. But I remember back in 2006, he did it for a friend that he would all know very well, Eddie Chance Go Up. You know, then then Kevin Owens apologized for interrupting Mysterio, but he had to because he has heard him talking about how he's going to win the Royal Rumble, but from the bottom of his heart, there's very few men in this business he respects as much as Ray, and is even going as far as saying there is nobody he has respect as much, and he accomplishes things he dreams of as a kid, and he main event WrestleMania against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he won tag titles with his best friend in the main event of WrestleMania, and now he gets the hand here with the title belt. All his idols won, and now he stands here as your true rightful WWE champion. And but there's one thing he has to accomplish before his career is complete, and there's one-on-one match against the legendary Rey Mysterio. So face to face, man to man, he hopes he beats all those other idiots and wins the Royal Rumble. And he asked him to promise that will be the champion. And Ray picks and 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 surprisingly, Rey Mysterio had to point out that Kevin Owens is not the real champion, and Cody Rhodes is. But he told him this, and if he wins the Royal Rumble, then Kevin Owens is the champion, and if he's more than glad to fight him for the title. And Kevin Owens disagrees, yelling in his face about how he's the world champion. And Ray calls Owens the national, and he says he reminds him of Dominic Mysterio right now, and he sets him up for the 619, but Kevin Owens rolls out to the floor to offense it. And then Bianca Belair and Naomi are chatting backstage about how there is still aren't any leads to figure out who is injured Jay Cargill, and they're agreed to focus on their tag title match tonight. And Naomi asked Bianca to rip up her braids up so there is no accident content content against, and Bianca Belair Bianca Belair damn near whipped her with her, well, she bellied in her head. And then Candice LeRae and Nia Jax make their entrance to the back. And then back from the commercial break, Nick Aldis is chatting with Rey Mysterio, informing him that he's giving him his match against Kevin Owens. And Cody Rhodes walks in and says he saw what happened and was getting checked out by a medic, but he would have helped. And Ray tells him to focus on getting cleared and tells him handle his own business. And then Cody informs Nick that he's been cleared, and Nick Aldis says there's a lot time between now and the Royal Rumble, and he has since to the contract for the match, and he has needed a sense. And Cody Rhodes asks if Kevin Owens has signed it, and Nick Aldis says he has his next stop, and Cody Rhodes gives the contract back, saying he will sign it when Kevin Owens does. Then we had a decent tag team match with Nia Jax and Candice LeRae fences Naomi and Bianca Belair. Nia Jax with a cheap shot on Naomi out the gate, and Candice LeRae beating Bianca Belair down, and now is Nia pressing her attack on Bianca, and Candice LeRae in and Bianca Belair with a first suplex on her back elbow and mounts punches. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Again. But Candice LeRae and Bianca Belair with the first suplex on her back elbow mount punches, and Bianca Belair missionary press and Candice LeRae to the floor into Nia Jax, and we go to the break and back for the commercial. Bianca Belair with a schoolboy pin on Candice LeRae, and Candice LeRae dives crossbody, and Bianca Belair rolls her through it, and Candice LeRae whips out with a handful of braids, pulling her into the mat with it, and Nia Jax tags in and Samoan drop, and Bianca Belair off the top with a crossbody. Both women are down and out, and Naomi tags in and slingshots X Factor for two and mount punches, swinging Nia Jax into the turnbuckle, and then split leg moonsault, and Candice LeRae breaks it up and tags to Bianca Belair, and Nia Jax fills them both off, and Samoan drop on Naomi off the top, and blind tag from Candice LeRae. Handsprings from Bianca Belair is met by a basement dropkick and sets up a suicide, followed and Nia Jax up top and suicide, and Candice LeRae with the pin, and nope, and charging in Bianca sells the thrower into the turnbuckle and handspring moonsault, and Nia Jax tries to break it up, and they just drop a leg on Candice LeRae, and Bianca Belair takes it down with a lariat, and Naomi tags in, and that's what happened right there, and that's how Bianca Belair and Naomi won with a Phil Nelson bomb from Naomi on Candice LeRae, and that's what happened right there. Then we go to the break, and we went to the commercial, and we get footage of Brian Saxon interviewing Bayley in the empty arena this afternoon, and she says all of her dreams of main eventing on her home state, and she talks about her disappointment in her last title reign, and that this time it's personal, and Miriam and B-Fab are chatting backstage when Pepper Nevlin rolls up and paying present Secret Service for Chelsea Green. She says the room is clear, and Chelsea Green comes in and tells them about now standing for her, and B-Fab says if it wasn't for the mall cop, she never have been champion, and Pepper Nevlin gets in her face and sits as a champion for later tonight, and Jimmy Uso walks in and talks backstage ahead of his match against Carmelo Hayes, and Jimmy Uso makes his entrance, and we go to the back, and then back for the commercial break. Carmelo Hayes has cut a promo on his entrance and about how Jimmy Uso is living in his brother's shadow, and his brother in his turn and living in Roman Reigns' shadow, and how you're going to throw shade sitting on the bench. Then we had Carmelo Hayes fences Jimmy Uso. I'm still going to be calling him Jimmy Uso. I'm not going to be calling him Big Jim. You guys can call him Big Jim, but I'm calling him Jimmy Uso, just like I'm calling Adam Copeland. I'm not calling him Cope, but then Jimmy Uso's in control early, but Carmelo Hayes comes back with a fierce and puts boots to him in the corner and chomps the ropes, and Jimmy Uso with a back belly drop to the apron and a right hand judging Carmelo, and Jimmy Uso with a snap suplex on the apron, and Jimmy Uso follows it with a suicide dive, and we go to the break. Then back from the break up to the turnbuckle, and shocking from precision, nobody's home on a whisper in the wind. And then, but Carmelo Hayes hits a fadeaway back on his feet, and both men go for a neck breaker. Both men are down and out and trading strikes, and Carmelo Hayes flaps out a fireman carry, and Lil Mesa connects, nope, and then Jimmy Uso with a pop-up Samoan drop for two up top for a diving splash, and Carmelo Hayes counters with a cold breaker so close, and nobody's home on nothing but net, and Jimmy Uso comes back with a super kick and still nope, and rolls up from Carmelo Hayes, no deal, and Jimmy Uso with a spear, and Jimmy Uso comes up top, and Tangaloa and Jacob Fatu appear, and Tangaloa shoves him down, and that's how Jimmy Uso won by disqualification, guys. Then post-match, since the Bloodline gentlemen dominate Jimmy Uso and lays him out, and then Sol Sikoa makes his entrance, and we go to the break. Then back from the commercial break, Sol Sikoa gets on the mic, and he lets the crowd boo for a long moment before dropping the mic and leaving and taking his blazer off and slinging it over his shoulder, and then Tangaloa and Jacob Fatu are left hanging back in the ring, and then Jacob Fatu grabs a mic and asks if this is what comes to, and he's tired of the disrespect and the hate, but even on his bad day, he couldn't touch him, and he doesn't give a damn if he cheers or boos him, but one thing he wouldn't let us do is act like he never got his. Did you think he was crazy or in cringe? And the crazy thing about this situation is that he's getting ready and then getting started, and LA Knight enters, sliding in the ring from behind, and blindsides Tonga and Fatu, and they overwhelm him in such short order. By Braun Strowman makes the save, and Braun Strowman slides Tonga Loa aside and gets into the ring with the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu, and fires up with fights with Tonga and pulls him out of the ring. And then, Lunto Del Tasma are back, and Santos Escobar gives Lil Garza a peep talk, and Electra Lopez reminds them that one victory doesn't earn them the tag titles, and Santos Escobar tells them to beat Mortar Machine Guns and take respect from hands in their throats tonight. And then Mortar Machine Guns make their entrance descent to the break. Then we had the Little Garza, Angel Garza, and Alberto Rio versus Motor Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin. And Alex Shelley and Garza are side headlocks and block the shoe off the ropes and drop down and trading hip trips. And Angel offers a hand and slaps back and forth, and Lil Garza in control, and we go to the break. And back from the break, Chris Sabin's on the wrong side of town, near fall, and Chris Sabin gets an Incendiary for precision and tags Alex Shelley back in, and Alex Shelley lights Alberto Carrillo with right hands and flying elbow boots up and Alertia into a figure four leg lock, and Chris Sabin with one of his own as well, and readjusting, and Alberto kicks him into the corner and slams him cover two, and then Garza legal both Mortar Machine Guns, a dropkick to Sin's powerbomb, and power strong. Also again, World's Strongest Slam, still no, and Alex holds the ropes open, and Chris dives on both of them back inside, and corner lariat and a tag and front kicks and Pretty Deadly are here to run interference, and Chris Sabin sends impact and tag double boot, and that's what happened right there. And that's how the Mortar Machine Guns won and beated the Lil Garza with the skull and bone. What happened right there, and that's what happened right there, guys. Then Nick Aldis rolls up on Kevin Owens to get him to sign the SMM, and Kevin Owens doesn't want to sign it. Cody does, and he also wants to read the contract. And first, right now, he has a match, so he did not do it just yet. Then Chelsea Green and Pepper Nevlin make their entrance to send us back. And then we had B-Fab versus Pepper Nevlin. Let's talk about it, guys. So, filling out B-Fab with a facebuster out a hangman neckbreaker position and charging in, and Pepper Nevlin with a huge rock bottom, and B-Fab rolls away from a Susan and floats over DDT cover for two, and Pepper Devlin on the apron, and B splashed her to the floor with a boot, throwing her back inside, getting in Chelsea Green's face and dropping the champion with a lariat off the apron. But and then she got back inside, and Pepper Devlin cuts her off with a Susan and off the top with a dive fireman carry, and that's how Pepper Nevlin wins by pinfall with a Pepper driver, and that's how she won. Then the post-match, Mia Yim runs in and makes the save for B-Fab and attack the hands of the heels. And then we see Rey Mysterio walking backstage and the commentary, but since the WWE Hall of Famer Bob Ursins, and we go to the back. Then we're back from the break, and we get a recap of Tiffany Stratton winning the WWE Women's Championship, and then Brian Saxon interviews with a very wet-looking Tiffany Stratton backstage, and then we asked Bayley. I'll say it again. She asked Bayley and had a long moment, but she's living in her moment in the first run, and right now it's Tiffany's time, and we see Victoria and the crowd, which was great. Really good stuff, guys. Really good stuff, I'm telling you. Then we had Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio, which I thought Rey Mysterio should have won this match, but that's just my opinion. But let's talk about it anyways. So Kevin Owens backs Rey Mysterio in the corner, cleans back, go behind, and wrist lock, takedown, and Rey comes back with an arm drag, and Kevin is frustrated, front kicks and clubbering blows, and Chris locks and sits, and Rey Mysterio flips over the ropes and reverses and sides headlocks and shoots off Kevin Owens and cuts him off and shoves him through the ropes into the floor and back inside. I was thinking back inside. Test of strength, and Ray pops up for a rolling sunset flip for two and off the ropes, and sends Kevin Owens back into the ropes and elbow clobbering him and whips reverse, and Kevin Owens counters in a face buster and follows it with a running suicide and cross. I can't pronounce it. There was a chant that was going on that was good, and they go up as Kevin Owens works Rey Mysterio over and catching a slingshot electric chair, blocking a victory roll over the ropes, and he drives his knees into Rey's and sends him to the floor, and following after an elbow against the barricade, and Rey Mysterio gets on the apron and diving since bounce Kevin Owens off the barricade, and Rey Mysterio's backs inside and takes his shirt off and off the ropes and sliding top under the ropes, and we go to the break, and then back from the break, Kevin Owens has a reverse chin lock in, and Matt slap, but Rey Mysterio, I was thinking Matt slam, but Rey Mysterio backs down and cross chops at the crowd, and Rey Mysterio off the top and log Garza into the Bulldog, only for two, and Kevin Owens has a 619 crowded, and Rey Mysterio decides the pop-up powerbomb and hits a I was thinking satellite DDT, so close up top and jockeying for precision, and Kevin Owens hits a frog splash, still no, and then back up top again, and Rey Mysterio with a sunset flip, a powerbomb, followed up with a Bruce, and Kevin Owens kicks out, and Stunner connects, and Rey Mysterio kicks out, and Kevin Owens gets up top, and suicide, what? No. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry that you had to hear that. But I'll be there. I'll be there. Jeez. Yeah. Sorry that you had to hear that. At least it was just about cookies, guys. It was not anything personal. But like I said again, guys, this was a good match. And then Rey Mysterio kicks out, and Kevin Owens comes top. Suicide ascents to knees are up, and the 619 connects, and Rey Mysterio lames in one leg and heads up top, but Kevin Owens crutches him off the ropes, and Kevin Owens wins by pinfall and pop-up powerbomb, and that's how Kevin Owens won. And like I said again, Rey Mysterio should have won that match, but it is what it is. And then the post-match, Kevin Owens looks for a package pile driver on Rey and Cody Rhodes to make the save, and the brawl referees and rolled agents and security pulled them apart over the announced deaths, and brawl continues, and Cody Rhodes goes back in the ring, and Kevin Owens stands tall on a road chase in the crowd as we go to the break. And then the commercial break, Nick Aldis is furious at Cody Rhodes for doing the brawl, informed him that Saturday night main event, he and Kevin Owens both would relinquish their title belts, and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, HBK, Shawn Michaels, will moderate a contract signing between the two of them, and commentary hypes up Saturday night main event, and sits a first book between Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu, which I think that's going to be a banger. And before hyping up the next week's SmackDown, and Pretty Deadly runs into DIY backstage, and Tommaso Ciampa is mad at Pretty Deadly for heading the win to Murder Machine Guns earlier, and calls them a joke, and says if they want a title shot, they want to become man. And Johnny Gargano tries to lash it as tough love and says they should want to make life easier for them so they can make life better for PD. And Apollo Crews rolls up after a point out trying to work with DIY and giving Pretty Deadly nowhere, and they left, and Johnny Gargano approached Apollo Crews and beats him down against a road chase and telling them to keep their name out of their mouth, which was amazing. And then Bayley makes her entrance, and Roxanne Perez is shown in the front row to send us to the break. Then back from the commercial, we get a music video for Charlotte Flair's return. I can't wait for Charlotte Flair's return. I know some of you don't like her. I like Charlotte Flair, so yeah, guys. And then we had the main event. Bayley fences Tiffany Stratton, which was a great match, guys. A great match. Let's talk about it. Circle, collar, and elbow struggling into the corner and clean break and back into the lockup and headlocks take over from Tiffany Stratton and head scissors escape back to the headlock and shut off standing switch and Bailey shoves her away and they trade heel trips, near falls and back elbows set up in an arm drag, sliding lariat only for 2 and Tiffany Stratton held off and slaps the role model to the mat and gets clothesline to the floor and return to send us to the break. Then back from the break, Bailey sends Tiffany Stratton crashing to the floor and drop kicks through the corner and blocks a second and Tiffany Stratton strips her up on the apron and a few times back inside, covers for 2 and back outside and around the way, but the role model cuts her off with a back elbow and a flip jack her into the ropes and back inside a cover for 2 and Tiffany Stratton bells Bailey off the ropes and Tiffany Stratton cuts her off with a right hand before stripping her in the ring skirt and splashing her with a hip attack against the steel form, you know what I'm saying, against steel frame, and off. I was thinking the steel frame and Tiffany Stratton inside the take of the plancha counter and Bailey to Bailey connects and we go to the break and then back from the break Bailey gets a near fall off a superplex and we go up top. She goes up top and Tiffany Stratton cuts her off and sends her crashing to the floor and back inside Tiffany Stratton pumps up top, Suicide sends connect, powerbomb, and Bailey kicks out, and then an armbar sends on the kick out, and Tiffany Stratton stretching it in, and the role model reverses into a cover up, and I'll say again. The role model reverses into a cover and gets away, and then swinging Tiffany Stratton to the floor, and Tiffany Stratton pulls her out with her handspring connect and Bailey core buster into the announce desk and then suplexers off to Cinch with Roxanne Perez back inside and diving elbow for 2 and Bailey with just a face lock, but Tiffany Stratton counters and a spine buster. I was thinking a spine buster for 2 and back and forth, and then Bailey to Bailey still just a 2 count and up for the moonsault. The role model cuts her off and sunset flip and powerbomb into the into the turnbuckle cover and Tiffany Stratton kicks out and the fireman carry and swings into a lighting spiritual for 2. And then Tiffany Stratton with kicks in the corner and backslide for 2 and Bailey steps over and rolls plants, counters, and cartwheel Alabama slam connects with Tiffany Stratton double jump, and that's how she retained the title. Good match, I'm telling you guys. Loved it. And she won with the prettiest moonsault. Oh, man. And I give this show a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10, guys. A 7 out of 10. And the reason why I enjoy watching the shows is because when the commercials are on, I'm like this. Then when I hear the commentaries come back, I open my eyes. Because I don't want to deal with the commercials. I really don't. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, they have to get paid, and stuff like that. I understand that. But I'm just saying, I like no commercials. Me, I'm just that kind of person. I want my action. I want my all of that good stuff, So that's why I'm always hyped. So anyways, guys, so yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells if you like watching, the whole thing, even the commercials or whatever. That's your opinion. But me, I just not to that shit. But yeah. Oh, you were the one that was watching. I thought it was somebody else. Thanks for coming in, Red Lightning Bull. Appreciate you, Red Lightning Bull, coming in here. Yeah, me and the reason why me and Red Lightning Bull hype up this stuff is because we're not like you guys. We don't watch the commercials. It makes us feel better. I'm not kidding. It makes, to be honest with you, that's the best thing to do. If you're a wrestling fan and you don't like the commercials, just and then wait till the action comes back. So yes, guys, I give this show a 7 out of 10. And that's all I have to say. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit those notification bells, and that's all I have to say. And peace out and take care, guys. Peace out and take care. Peace out and take care, guys. Peace out and take care.